Service, because did you know that there are rising levels of anxiety, depression among young people? A new CDC report finds that nearly half of all teenagers use drugs as a way to escape their worries. To shed light on the warning signs of mental health concerns and substance abuse, we're joined by Dr. Ashley Zucker. She is a child, adolescent, and adult psychiatrist with Kaiser Permanente San Bernardino. Thank you so much for joining us. Such an important topic this morning. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's get right to this study. Are you surprised by these findings? Can you tell us more about the study?
Sure. So the study was a survey that was conducted from 2014 to 2022. So of course took place over COVID as well, but before and after a little bit, and surveyed about 1,600 or 16,000, teens throughout the United States. And like you said, that survey indicated that a vast majority of teens are using to address their stress, their anxiety, or using to feel calm, or to forget about some of their problems, which isn't too surprising given, like you said, the increasing rates that we're seeing of anxiety and stress levels in our teenage folks.
So during that time frame that you've given, as you said, there was COVID. Also, social media has really taken off. People have so much more access to it. All of those pressures that we didn't grow up with. So it's different for them, for the kids these days. Talk about the warning signs of mental health issues. What should parents be looking for when we talk about mental health and substance abuse?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it can be challenging with teenagers because their moods can, fluctuate a lot and they can be a little bit more emotional. But some of those signs you're really looking for are changes in behavior, where they're withdrawing from things that they previously really enjoyed doing. They're not engaging with their friends in the same way, or maybe you see that they're struggling in some of their regular activities, whether it be, sports or social engagements or things like that.
So I have a teenager for one more year. She's 19. But as I've tried to navigate this very bumpy road of being a parent, a lot of people say, you're not their friend, you're their parent. So don't try to be their friend. I get that, but I think you have to meet them where they are. I think you have to have that respect. Can you talk about just being communicative with your child and opening up the door, not judging them, letting them tell you what's going on with them? Because I know a lot of kids don't talk to their parents.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're right. It's a fine balance. You want them to open up to you and feel safe communicating with you. And so keeping that just line of communication open, being as non-judgmental as possible when your teenagers are talking to you. They may say some things that you don't love to hear, but just letting them speak to you and know that you're a safe person to talk to and to share their feelings with is really important. The other thing is not to push it too far, right? Sometimes teens aren't ready to talk. And so just leaving that door open for them can be incredibly important. At the same time, you do want to make sure that you set expectations and boundaries with your kids. That actually helps them to feel more secure and safe. And that's where that not always being their friend kind of comes into play, because sometimes they may not meet those expectations or break those boundaries, and you do have to enact some consequences if that's the case.
Yeah, they kind of know when they pushed you too far, right? They know when that's enough is enough. So let's talk about how can parents really guide their teens through the stress management techniques? What kinds of techniques do you give to parents and kids?
Well, I think starting with the basics is really important. So keeping a regular schedule, making sure that you're getting enough sleep. Teenagers need a lot of sleep, so 9 to 10 hours is really what's recommended for their age. But also just finding ways to release some of that stress and recognizing that, we have emotions and that not all emotions are bad, and how to identify them and then how to manage them when they come. And there are a lot of variety of techniques that you can use, whether it's mindfulness or breathing techniques or, just going for a walk and getting some fresh air can make all the difference.
Right. I didn't know that, 9 to 10 hours. So a lot of parents are like, oh, my kids are so lazy. All they want to do is sleep. They need their sleep.
They absolutely do. And teenagers' brains are actually wired so that they go to sleep later and they wake up later, which is very challenging.
I have to ask you one quick question. I just think it's really important. When do you know that you have to get some professional help? Is there a sign that you go, okay, enough is enough, we need help here?
Sure. So, we all have our ups and downs and moments where we may be more emotional or more stressed. But if you see that there's really a persistent change in mood or behaviors, you see they're really struggling with school, dramatic changes in their grades, or again, how they're engaging with others, those can be some of the bigger warning signs that it's time to seek some help.
Such good information. We really appreciate your help, Dr. Ashley Zucker. Thank you for speaking with us this morning.